During the peak of the one and done era, many promising 19-year-olds given a massive burden from the jump, labeled as the next so-and-so. Too much of a heavy burden put on these young kids the moment they get drafted, from anticipated debuts to everyone reacting in panic. Other players just need more time to develop before rounding out their complete form. But when one has an all-time great rookie season, we just expect those players to take the next step, only to be shocked they haven't won an MVP. It's just reality. When stars having down seasons due to injuries or outside circumstances, not everything's an upward trajectory. But this video will take a deep dive on former hype players once labeled a potential bust due to their slow start but proved doubters wrong after a couple seasons into their careers. These players become pretty good for a year or two, super talented, but all of a sudden fell off, becoming some of the most criticized players, falling back to their old habits, having a bad rap around the league. These frustrating big namers experience brief praise, but back to being hated by most. Starting with George McLoud of the 90s decade, the 6'6" small forward drafted 7th in the '89 draft had Magic Johnson-like intangibles. Longtime franchise executive Donnie Walsh proceeded to take him over Tim Hardaway Sr., an absolute regrettable franchise decision. Bothered by ankle problems throughout his rookie season, considered a disappointing role player for Indy, averaged no more than 7.2 points each of his first 4 seasons, even released from the league after that, played in Italy for a year before signing with Dallas. The entire 96 season, after averaging just 6.1 points on 40% shooting, 1.8 threes attempted throughout his first 5 years, the then 28-year-old put up a career best 18.9 points, attempted an NBA record 8.6 threes a game, averaged 36 minutes on a 26-win team after never taking over 2.5 trays in any previous seasons. Given the three-point line moved a bit closer, McLeod embraced his role, but back to being below average again, averaged 10.3 points following year, bounced around with LA, Denver, and Phoenix. His second to last season, McLeod averaged a career best 3.7 assists, still holds the league record for most assists in a game by a small forward, 22. The game before he had 0, one of the most random outbursts and weird careers the league's ever witnessed. Austin Kroer, also of the Indiana Pacers, taken 12th in the 97 draft out of Providence, the 6'9" power forward struggled each of his first 2 seasons, averaged just over 3 points in 9 minutes played, considered a bust. Little did anybody expect. The tenacious athletic 4 averaged 10.3 points, good for 4th on the team, 2nd in rebounds, 6.4 a game, bursted onto the scene in the playoffs, but on and off, averaged just 7 points through the first 3 rounds. En route to the finals, everything changed, becoming an emerging star. Kroer netted double digits every game of the 2000 finals, averaged 15.2 points on 55% shooting, even averaged more than Kobe. His defense, rebounding, and hustle made him super respected, rewarded 7 years, $51 million. His production never reached those heights again. After another season averaging 10 a game, Kroer went on to average 6 points rest of his career for 5 different teams, fell off heavily, remained a bench player the rest of his tenure. Head coach Larry Bird stepped down, replaced by Isaiah Thomas, who put Austin at small forward, having to guard much faster players, diminished his all-around play. His career number 6.8 points across a dozen seasons. His 2000 finals, one of the biggest anomalies, resulting in a contract that became 93% of his career earnings. Jamal Morrow, the 6'11" center, drafted 19 by the Hornets in a historic week 2000 class, struggled as a rookie but made improvements, becoming a full-time starter by year 3, voted in as an all-star his 4th season, career best of 13.6 points, over 10 rebounds. The 25-year-old was supposed to become one of the best young bigs, but due to the Eastern Conference lacking bigs, after a 26-19 start, his Hornets finished 15-22, even surprised everyone, being the East leading scorer with 19 points, narrowly losing the game by 2 possessions, becoming just the second Canadian All-Star in league history behind Steve Nash. Later became nothing more than an average role player, averaged 11-9 first round Miami series. After 2005, MacLeod put up less than 5 points a game his last 7 seasons, became a certified journeyman, considered one of the worst selected All-Stars all time, only having 16 career games, scoring above 20 points. 13 of those occurred the lone 2004 season. Lance Stevenson of the Indiana Pacers, the Brooklyn, New York native, had insurmountable hype coming out of high school, dealt with some off-court issues, played a year at Cincy, averaged 12-5 in college, shot just 22% from 3, fell down to the 40th pick, a low-risk, high-reward guy, as team president Larry Bird shocked to see such a talent still available. Lance played just 54 combined games first 2 seasons, still dealt with off-court troubles. His first relevant NBA moment, 2012 playoffs, holding the choke sign directed towards LeBron. The cocky young kid, alongside great mentor Larry Bird, allowed Lance to play with confidence, becoming the starting 2 guard with playmaking skills, took James and Wade's Heat to 7 games conference finals before a 25-point Game 6 series closer on his hometown Knicks. Lance went on to have a career year 2014, led the NBA in triple-doubles, a borderline all-star. Many believe he got snubbed, averaged 14, 7, and 5 as the number 1 seed, famously blew in LeBron's ear. Team chemistry collapsed after teammates off-court drama, getting into a fistfight with draftmate Evan Turner. Stevenson turned down $44 million, only to sign 3 years $27 with Charlotte. Couldn't adjust to playing without the ball, viewed himself more as an entertainer than a ball player, became more of a distraction. Bad shooter, had no consistent skill set if he wasn't the primary ball handler, became a glorified journeyman. Before coming alive with Indy 2017 off the bench, then fell off again, back to the Pacers, a third time during peak COVID, out the league by 31, recently spent time in the G League. Remembered as a great streaky guy when hot, but never fully locked in, way too much flash, not fundamentally sound, at best a good 3rd or 4th option. If Stevenson was focused more on developing his skills, he'd still be in the NBA. Hassan Whiteside, picked 33rd in the 2010 draft, spent time in the G League. Sacramento quickly gave up on him after 19 combined games. Also went overseas, waived several times before Miami took a chance on him 2015. Overly confident in his athletic abilities, played 48 games, first full season, averaged 12-10, over 2.5 blocks, asserted himself to one of the best defensive bigs. 2017 being his best year, put up 17 and 14 averages, led the NBA in blocks twice. Given a 4-year max contract 2016 after Miami had money to spend, striking out to attract other big-name free agents. Whiteside paid like a franchise player, quickly became a complete non-factor. 2018 playoffs, averaged 5 and 6. Backup rookie center Bam Adebayo showed tons of upside and never looked back. Hassan never developed an outside game, got lazy. When other centers his size got better like Jokic and Embiid, he crumbled against those guys. Sent to Portland, 2020 his last real impactful season before becoming a non-factor with Sacramento and Utah, out the league by 32. Despite his high shot blocking rate, his team defense one of the worst, lacked effort after getting the money, couldn't control his ego once he got paid. More talented than most, but not somebody a good team wants in their locker room. Whiteside's legacy in Miami, forever remembered, causing Dwayne Wade a lifelong Heat lifer, the type of guy who'll be remembered for chasing stats instead of chasing wins, a bad attitude and lazy work ethic. Once the money came around, that's what he'll be most remembered for. Julius Randle of the Minnesota Timberwolves, the most frustrating multiple-time All-Star, a confusing player to look back at, one of the most famous fake stars in the league, a guy who deserves both his flowers for helping map the Knicks to relevancy, but rightly criticized for the ridiculous erratic style of play. Drafted 7th 2014 draft, injured himself very first game, didn't have an established identity at power forward, no use with the Lakers after LeBron joined it. Julius signed with New Orleans, labeled underwhelming and a borderline bust, averaged 21-9 on a 33-win team. His impact not as great as his numbers on paper. New York only got him after striking out on KD and Kyrie. Struggled first season with the Knicks, but then came 2021, won most improved player under Tibbs, an NBA all-second teamer, put up 24, 10, and 6 averages, hit the toughest of shots, the only point of attack to New York's offense, but shrank massively come playoff time, locked down when getting hounded by Atlanta, forced the action too much, became a black hole, showed bad leadership when he played poorly, labeled toxic and inconsistent, redeemed himself both 2023 and 24, put up 24 to 25 points a game, 10 rebounds, over 4 assists, excelled playing with new star Jalen Brunson, but Julius still struggled in the postseason. His last game in the Knicks uniform when Jaime Jaquez injured his shoulder. Team came one game short of reaching the conference finals without him, looked every bit as good. Later traded for Karl Towns, viewed as one of the most lopsided deals in recent memory. Minnesota barely hanging on to a playoff seed. Randle the easy scapegoat, an instant defensive liability, always known as the odd man out. Him, McDaniels, and Gobert all clocked the pain, forcing Edwards to jack up 10 threes a game. Team went from conference finals pure chemistry to destroyed overnight. On the trade block once again, the type of player to put up big numbers with little to no playoff success. DAngelo Russell, 2 different failed stints with the Lakers, came back only to underperform for a bronze team. Russell's entire image tarnished, already a finished product, too streaky, having his worst season only to barely play for the tanking Nets. The former number 2 pick instantly had a bad rap, labeled an immature teenager, forever remembered for the Nick Young incident. Team GM Magic Johnson wasn't fond of D'Lo's leadership, traded him so they could draft Lonzo Ball, but did get a fresh start on a young rebuilding Nets squad with nothing to lose, had the ball in his hands, played freely, led Brooklyn to the playoffs, averaged 21 and 7 dimes, finished second for most improved player, his first and only All-Star berth, responsible for the start of the KD Kyrie era, only to be the odd man out. On a sign and trade to Golden State, didn't mesh with the team, too many ups and downs in Minnesota, didn't make his teammates better, provided nothing if his shot's not falling, always been a defensive liability, sent to the Lakers, who struck out on Mike Conley. Russell had his moments, but struggled in both Nuggets series, a poor playoff performer, from view bust to promising, back to underachiever. Now almost age 29, still one of the least athletic point guards, no foot speed, will be a free agent next season. Teams will be too hesitant, giving him more than 3 years $50 million at this point. Montrezl Harrell, his rise as 6th man evaporated as fast as his downfall. Last game in the 2023 playoffs was 29 years old, now 31, after a torn ACL, missing the entire 24 season. Team simply had enough of the undersized center who can't rebound, space the floor, or play a lick of defense. From taking his talents to the NBL, the former second rounder came in as an energy guy, viewed as a throw-in for the CP3 trade. Tress finally took off with the Clippers. Doc Rivers utilized his strength as a lethal pick and roll finisher with 6-man partner in crime Lou Williams. Given his hustle and energy, continued to abuse teams, finished strong every time around the rim, excelled throughout 2020, averaged over 18 and 7, won 6th Man of the Year. The then 25-year-old considered himself the modern day Rodman, but the bubble happened, everything went downhill from there. His head wasn't in the right place, dealt with family tragedy, didn't get along with Paul George, exposed by Jokic for his lack of defense, his career pretty much useless after separating from Lou Williams, shocked everybody by signing with the rival Lakers as a free agent, benched by Vogel during the playoffs, didn't get along with teammates, bounced around with Washington and Charlotte, then Philly. His ceiling, just a regular season offensive stat stuffer, but useless come playoff time, too many flaws, burned too many bridges with multiple teams and superstars. His NBA career likely over. Brandon Ingram, perhaps the best player in the NBA nobody wants. After 2020, The hunger never the same. From drafted second overall by the Lakers, deemed a bust as a rookie, being super raw, averaged single digits, shot 29% from 3, made solid improvements year 2, but after playing with LeBron, got all the backlash imaginable, wasn't gonna be a piece for a title team right away. Traded in the AD package, BI finally proved doubters wrong, won most improved player of the year, became a reliable go-to scorer, but way too injury prone ever since, hasn't played more than 64 games in the season since his rookie year. Teammate Zion proven to never be healthy. BI had an up and down 2022 regular season, took the 64-win Suns to 6, averaged 27 a game, but continued to get hurt, absolutely atrociously swept round 1 OKC, locked up by Luke Dort. A free agent after this season, BI wants his money, but needs the ball in his hands to be effective. His reputation tarnished by Team USA, benched by Austin Reeves, wanting a max contract, but not a max player, when he simply can't be consistently healthy. Still 27 years old, has not gotten better in years, no longer viewed promising. Many assume he's already a finished product. Ingram will have no choice but be forced to take less than a max, whether he likes it or not. Doesn't have much role player intangibles as a third option, not good enough as a second option, not first option material on any good team. Out since December 8 with an ankle sprain, he's been cursed by the Pelicans. Franchise had the audacity saying they wouldn't trade him for Kevin Durant or the second round pick in the draft, only resulted in 0 playoff series wins, 0 compensation, Zion continuing being Zion, the New Orleans Pelicans, an utterly devastating disgrace of an absolute travesty franchise. DeAndre Ayton, an absolute travesty of massive laziness. Does not give a damn whatsoever, blessed to be 7 feet with natural athletic abilities compared to the likes of David Robinson, an athletic specimen coming out of Arizona, still hyped enough to be drafted ahead of Luka, considered the safest pick. When asked about his definition of NBA success, he responded, "Getting to my second contract." Words that warned the entire NBA from day one. Averaged 16 and 10 for a bad team, constantly played video games, addicted to 2K, suspended for drug use second season. His career took a turn for the best after Phoenix acquired CP3, the perfect floor general, setting DA for easy looks in the paint, playing very well, looked like a borderline all-star, excelled best in the playoffs, showing an uprise of greatness, drew down the game-winning alley-oop game 2 of the conference finals, reached the finals by his 3rd season. But things went downhill after getting worked by the more motivated Giannis. Ayton failed to step up all finals, mentally regressed ever since, wanting a max contract. Phoenix gave Mikal Bridges 4 years, $90 million. A jealous DA and coach Monty Williams had a falling out. Despite a solid 2022 regular season, when adversity hit, Ayton mentally destroyed, never recovered, got abused by Luka game 7 of the playoffs, accused of quitting on the team. His camp pressure for a max deal, intended to sign 4 years, $133 with Indiana, but Phoenix, for whatever reason, matched the offer. Still annoyed at the Suns for not giving him 5 years, Ayton stopped giving effort, developed no moves. Outplayed by teammate Jock Landale, despite his team having title aspirations, a passionless Ayton completely quit on the squad bench, ignored his teammates, a pathetic losing mentality of a travesty. DeAndre Ayton's one of the reasons the NBA shouldn't give guaranteed max contracts. Instead of being one of the top centers today, the lack of passion, 0 aggression, no drive, now a nobody with the stinky Trailblazers. He's the reason why the Suns stuck with mediocre Jusuf Nurkic, now having the lowest scoring season of his career, making $35 million till after 2026, the type of guy to show up to a game who can't wait till the final buzzer sounds, then goes on to play video games all night. Given he only cares about the money, after his contract's done, DeAndre Ayton walking away from playing basketball completely wouldn't surprise anybody. Honorable mention goes to Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole, the former #1 pick, considered a generational prospect, to winning 1 title, 1 All-Star appearance, will always be considered a disappointment. from called bust with the Timberwolves, when in reality, just a disappointment given his talents but lack of effort. When motivated, proving what he could do with 2022 Golden State after winning a title, dealt with family tragedy, playing much better now 2025 than last season, but remains stagnant. At least he's not making over 30 mil a season. While Jordan Poole played terrible all rookie year, then became a rising star, secured the bag, acted too cocky, playing way better 2025 than all of the previous 2 seasons. Only 25 years old, has tons of scoring talent, should still have a decent career after his contract's up.